What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. As you all know, it's right down there. It's free. That enables us to keep coming to you guys as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one. We appreciate you guys' support getting us this far. And thanks to those who hit us on the Cash App, Unique Access ENT. Now today for Best Albums, we have the honor and the privilege of being joined by Stix. And he has selected Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. So Stix, this is Jay-Z's debut album, came out in 1996. Just overall, what impact does this album have on you? Why is it so significant for you?
First of all, it was the first tape I've ever bought. First piece of music I've ever bought in my life. Dead Presidents, maxi single. I bought it from Warehouse Music Store in Carson. I think there was one in the Carson Mall or something crazy like, or Lakewood, somewhere around there. I bought the Dead President, and that was the first thing I've ever bought with my own money. And the second thing was Juvenile, 400 Degrees. But anyhow, that's another conversation. So when I listened to it, I was, first of all, the beat, number one, the track. Ski Beats did that one, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, Ski Beats. And I used to know the name of the sample by heart. But when it came on, it just hit me instantly. I mean, I had to be like, what year? I had to be like, not, this was in 94. Man, I can't remember how I was young, man. And I was just like, yo, what is this? This is crazy. And I started to listen to what he was saying. And though I couldn't relate, I kind of understood what he was talking about. Then it just so happened that I seen the music video on the box. That's when we used to have the box music television. And it was him at the table, and Big was there, and AZ, and I just seen they had the helicopter that flew down in the video, and they had the big leathers on with they bet like gambling shooting dice or something at the table with all of the money and Cristal. And I was like, yo, that's fire. And I ain't gonna lie, it hit me. So then that's when I started to tap into the album. And ever since then, I was like, yo, that album and that single made the biggest impact on me. One of the biggest impacts on me as a MC and a rapper.
And lyrically, what was he talking about on Dead Presidents, that part 2, especially, that hit you so hard?
Man, it was just that life. He was talking about the life of, even though he's talking about a lot of hustler stuff, I think it was something of his whole approach to how confident he was about how much money he had. It wasn't like bling bling, right? Where it's like, I got diamonds and chains and all of this and fast cars. It was like the more discreet, like, I got money and don't play with me, but I ain't finna be out here flossing on you. But just in case you didn't know, you know what I mean? I got that. Okay, man, he started, I'm gonna spit that Wonder Woman shit. Me and my conglomerates shall remain anonymous, caught up in the finest. Like, his first couple lines out the gate, he letting you know, like, we all got money.
Well, I would spit that Wonder Woman shit. Me and my conglomerate shall remain anonymous, caught up in the finest shit.
You know what I mean? We caught up in this, but shall remain anonymous. Like, I'm not gonna tell you who's who. We not gonna tell you what we do, but just know that's what we about. Like, I was gone out the gate.
Okay, fair enough. Now, speaking of out the gate, Reasonable Doubt, the first song on there, Can't Knock the Hustle,
right?
Which is a single, Mary J. Blige on it. There's a video for it. That's a big song. It also starts the album. So when you heard the album and you get to that song right away, what was your reaction?
Well, first, even before that, what's his name? Okay, I'm reloaded.
Oh yeah. Pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass. There you go. Like, soon as it come on, I'm like, yo, he's kind of knocking off like the Godfather. What was it? The Godfather. What is that? What movie was that? They ripped that from?
Scarface?
Scarface. It's like the Scarface, right?
Mhm.
With that whole Godfather theme S type family mafioso type. I'm like, oh, that's kind of dope. Then it go into the Can't Knock the Hustle. Yeah, and then Mary J come in. Nah, 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 nah. I'm like, oh, it's crazy. And it just come in smooth, man. And once again, street life, uh, talking about that money and just talking about how you ain't gonna come in front of it. And if you try to do it, then you already know what's gonna happen to you. Like
Right.
that's the kind of life we kind of live. That's more of an East Coast approach to it, obviously. But I'm a big fan, and Glasses get mad at me, but I'm a fan of East Coast music. Like I grew up a little bit right. Like I didn't really wasn't able to really pay attention to the death row, like real dominance. Like I had to come back to it when I got older and be like, it's West Coast. Like we run that shit. You know what I mean? But I was really influenced and really fell in love with East Coast music, and Jay-Z, obviously, Reasonable Doubt was like the nucleus of that
Well,
love.
speaking of being that I'm from Maryland on the East Coast, the Aint No song was, man, that song was so big in Maryland, especially in
Wow.
D.C. And
Wow.
I just remember that that one, it was just on fire. And that one really made him, quote unquote, a star, at least in our area.
Wow.
So when you listen to that song and Foxy Brown and Jazzo, Big Jazz producing it in the video and all that, what did that song have? What impact did that song have on?
I mean, Foxy was my first favorite female rapper because of that song. And later, obviously, I got into Lil Kim. We don't have to go down the list of all of the amazing, great queens from Queen Latifah to, Roxanne, Shantae, and all of it. I can go on and on and on. But Foxy was my first favorite female rapper because of that song, and just the whole flow. Ain't no like the one I got. Like that whole. Then the video, had the palm trees in the back it was all baller stuff again. It was like the life that you want to live, with a chick on your side that sound convincing and just hard and sound like she a down street chick. You know what I mean? It's just everything about it, man. I was caught into it. It really impacted me.
Yeah. And another great one that's on there with a collaboration is the Brooklyn's Finest, of course, with Biggie.
Oh man. Like so number one, my top 5, Big is at Big and Pac kind of like. So first, I'm gonna go back to what we talking about. So Big, I'm not putting nobody in no order. Big, Pac, Snoop, Jay. I'm gonna leave the last spot out because it's debatable all the time. But those 4 remain in my top 5. Big, one day, Big would be number 1 for me. The next day, Hov. The next day, Pac. The next day, Snoop. Right. So when Big and Jay did Brooklyn's Finest with that Ohio Players sample, dog, that's Ecstasy. That's the name of the original. Yo, and I often debate who got off better. I didn't really like how Big this Tupac in it though.
Well,
but I mean, it's right. That's what hip hop is, right? It's expression, and that's what they was really going through at that time.
Right.
But that's one of the best collaborations of all time. Got to be in the top 10 best featured collaborations ever in hip hop history.
Yeah.
So yeah, amazing, man. Whole album, top to bottom. I don't think I can find one song on that album where I can go, I could have dealt without that.
Yeah. Well, speaking to which, you were inspired by Reasonable Doubt to do Reasonably Watch, your recent project, and Can I Live is a song that you used the beat for and kind of redid. So what made Can I Live stand out to you so much?
Was that Isaac Hayes?
It's, dun, dun.
Like I was already a fan of the original.
Okay.
Like I got a like I had a good what is it called? Kind of glossary of old school records in me already before like the album. So to flip that record, I hadn't heard it flip like that. And while I'm watching these niggas watching me closely, like, yo, out the gate, he already like, yo, I got haters. I got haters because of what I do. Like, I'm just out here getting money. Like, you know, side and get you clapped from close feet. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yo, like, what do you say? Sipping market. Yo, I got so many of the lines. I want to say like the whole rap, but it's like he's speaking. It's like the American dream. Like he was living his life back then. Like he already knew what it was like to be a millionaire without telling us. And he's telling you, but he's not telling you. And that's what, coming from the hood, he come from Marcy Projects. I come from Watts, California. It's 5 housing projects in a 2 square mile radius. We right next door to each other, you know, and everything he talked about, what he was doing and where he was going, is everything that we wish we had, especially me during that time. So to see somebody from the projects or who is affiliated with that kind of environment, able to live that life, got the GS, keys to the Lexus, no driving, got your own 96, you know what I mean? Like he got these whips already, like the new version of them during that time. And he from the hood, like it's like, oh man, that's what I want. And he's talking about it all in his raps. And then he's explaining to us what comes with that lifestyle. Though. Oh, you're gonna have the haters, niggas gonna try to rob you, steal from you, and try to take your girl and like all of these different things, but just keep getting money. Make sure make sure your click is what do you say? Your click is rugged. We got to be each other crutches. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Like make you take care of your team, keep getting this money, take care of the hood, you're gonna be straight. And that's kind of what I do today.
On the flip side of that, he ends the album with Regrets, which I always think is a very interesting song. You're already shaking your head, so break it down.
Man, it's real because in life, man, there's this saying, Les Brown is this famous kind of motivational speaker. And Les Brown said, when you in your deathbed, how many ghosts of regrets will visit you, right? Basically, man, I wish I would have, man, I should have. How many of those ghosts are going to be able to stand around your bed? And so in life, you do things or you go through things or you don't do things and you go, damn, man, if I would have did this, things would have been better. And a lot of times us as people, we hold on to that, right? And we let it affect us and depress us. That's why, Jay say, man, I got to learn to live with regrets. Because if you don't, it'll never allow you to progress and you put these roadblocks in front of you. But we all have that. I was shaking my head because I'm like, yo, I got a ton of them. I wish I would have did this and did this during this time. But I've been able to accept it and be like, yo, that was just a part of the story to help me get here.
Right.
So instead of not live, I have to live with the regrets and be okay with it in order to bounce forward.
Yeah. And one of the things you've done is become a rapper. So with 22 Twos and D Evils, those are 2 supreme lyrical masterworks. What did you think of each of those?
That's just rap, man. That's just real. Let me tell you that I'm here in this rap game and ain't nobody gonna move me out like 22 Twos. I don't like the first line. However, respect. I still respect it. It's hip hop, like as I stated. But we was dissing the hell out of the East Coast around that time. We was stepping on buildings and all kind of craziness around that time. So rightfully so. Shout out Snoop Dogg Pound. But that was a master display. Those two songs are just a master display of lyricism. And I am a big fan of lyrics. Like, I'm a big fan of storytelling. I'm a big fan of wordplay and how he was able to, I mean, it's 22 twos. He literally did what he said the song was. And the closest person I seen that did that was Nas, who was able to do that. And just Nas is another architect, crazy, like can tell a whole story backwards, rap a whole story. Like the way that's just hip hop at its finest. You know what I mean? So both of those songs, The Evils, 22 Twos, are just a master display of lyricism that you just have to appreciate if you're a fan of hip hop. Yeah.
So now looking back, why do you think Reasonable Doubt's one of the best albums?
Man, it touches the soul. The sample selections for the records. If you look at each sample and then you look at which song, where it comes from, the originals were classics. Just how the production was put together, the order is cohesive. It doesn't feel out of place. Doesn't feel all over like the album wasn't thought of or they just threw some songs together. The story that connects from the beginning to the end, there's a flow. Conceptually, it's consistent, basically talking about kind of what the lifestyle was for him and what the lifestyle should be for you and what the life of a hustler in the streets serving and earning a living off of this lifestyle is like. It was just, I related to it because of the environment that I grew up in. I just connected to it, even though I'm from the West Coast, he's from the East Coast. It sounds kind of crazy. I've just connected to it, man. It was special for me.
Well, there it is, y'all. Well, Stix, thanks for coming through the best albums, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Soren, always.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.